guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. A great big shout out to my channel members for supporting my channel. Thank you. Alright, so it is one of my favorite videos to watch. It is the completed coloring pages. This is for February 2023. I don't have as many as I did in January. I had a week of vacation, which I just rested a lot, which was good. And then the final week of February was actually quite busy for me at work. So yeah, but I am very happy with the pages that I completed. So as we do, I'm just going to show you all of my completed pages, and then we'll end this video with my coloring book journal. Let me get organized and I'll be right back. All right, I have a completed pages out of this Reptiloids 2 from Vassal Psycho, and this was for one of Olga Rani's prompts of Cluck, and it was a really quick color. I actually had taken this to work because I used some of my mandalamas. They are slowly running out and I won't be replacing them. I did pick them up from Target. I have a video about them that I did earlier last year, and they're okay. They lasted decent. The black does tend to yellow, but otherwise I didn't have a problem with the rest of them. But there were 40 markers for, I think it was $25, and I can find alcohol markers that are more substantial in count and lesser in price. So I'm glad I got them, and I'm definitely using them up until they run out, but I won't be replacing them. But it was a really fun page, and this would have also counted towards Tackle Your Treasures 2023 because it's only the second page that I've colored in this particular coloring book. The thing I don't like about this one, although I like the images more, is that they tend to run, a lot of them tend to run horizontal, and I don't like coloring like this. So yeah, that's why I haven't done much in this, but this is Reptiloids 2, and this is a coloring book by Vassal Psycho. I completed a page in this, Bois du Poils. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it just makes me happy to say it that way. The artwork is by Diane Dufour. I did pick this up from Amazon. It's actually available, and I don't know if it's a little more or a little less than what you can find on Lyrica, but I did complete this page right here. This was for Olga Rani's Find in Color of Kangaroo, and I actually had taken this to work because I was running out of month, and it was towards the middle of the month. And my color palette, I have some notes here, is based on sharpened pencils. So I do have some Prismas, some Artezas, and some Brutfunners at work, and I just basically went through, and if they were already sharpened or sharpened to a point, that's how I chose the color palette because I didn't feel like sharpening more pencils. Yeah, I know, super scientific that way. I did add a Tim Holtz sticker which says "Live gently upon this earth." I just thought it looked good against the page here. I don't normally color what to me is essentially a wallpaper page, but I didn't actually have a lot of kangaroos to color, and I also wanted to do a page in this book, so it did kill two birds with one stone. So that's my completed page here. That's Bois du Poils. Bois du Poils. I think it means furball in French, but that's out of this an Art Therapy Haché Hero book. I also completed a page out of this Disney Portraits. It's Haché Heroes. I don't know if the art is by anyone specific, but I did do this for Olga Rani's Find in Color for her monthly color along, which was Arabian Nights. It did end the end of February, and it was a really quick color. I did choose to use alcohol marker, and I just basically focused on her skin and her outfit. This back is just distress inked with some highlights of dual hybrid metallic pen, and then there's some glossy accent on her eyes, but it was a really quick color. And the way that I like to do sheer fabric is I will choose for wherever it's touching skin to be a little lighter than the fabric here. I'll also do the skin pigment underneath a little lighter here, and then I like to add a sparkle element. This one was, I believe, Spectrum Sparkle in clear, and then that way you can still see the skin underneath, you can still see skin tone underneath, and yet it does give you the element of sheerness. Anyway, at least I think so. But that's this page completed here out of Disney Portraits. Again, I picked this up from Amazon as well. I do prefer Amazon just because the shipping generally is a little faster. Lyrica, I think it's free shipping, but sometimes it can take several weeks and I'm impatient. I also completed a page out of this. It's Tokimaki March. Camo's Fashionable Coloring Book, and I like this one because the paper is super thick and the images are actually really sweet to me. But I did complete this for Olga Rani's prompt again of kangaroo. Kangaroos, or animals in general, are not things that I color a lot, and so I figured it's not going to be a prompt that's going to come up again, so I colored basically all the kangaroos that I could, with the exception, I think, of Circle of Life. I think there's a kangaroo in that as well. This could have also counted towards my hashtag of Tackle Your Treasures. This is the 5th completed page in this coloring book for me. And also for, I think it's Colorful Pirates, Animals Doing People Things, her year-long hashtag as well. And then the text I have on the page is, nobody can be uncheered with a balloon, and that's from Winnie the Pooh. In the background, I just use a cloud stencil just to take up some of the space. I added the horizon line, although a bit crooked, and then just some pencil on the ground. And that's my completed page out of this one. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is probably one of my favorite completed pages I've done from Opal. This is the original Forest Girl coloring book, and the page I completed is this one right here. It's very soft and muted colors, and that was deliberate. I did use my erogitins in here, and I think erogitins in either Korean or Japanese published book that has that kind of smooth, thicker paper, I think it works really well. You're not going to get a lot of pigment. You're not going to get a lot of pigment from erogitins in general, but I kind of think it adds a really nice softness to the page. This entire bedspread is a washi, and it's just strips of washi, but because of the randomness of how the roll was, it does look like a patterned bedspread. I added washi up in here. I did cut through quite a bit of the page, but that's okay. I mean, that's just a reference for this page that I've already completed. And then the rest of this is done in pencil. I used Erogitin, Fantasia pencils, glaze, Pentel pens, Prismas, and Barrett funners. So it's mostly a washi and pencil page, just with accents of the glaze. There's some glaze on the mirror here, although you can't really see much of it. But I really love how this came out. I think it's just, it's really dynamic to me. And honestly, the favorite part of this is that bedspread right there. So this is Forest Girl, Opal's original coloring book. Now, of course, I did not look to see who the group is. So when I am doing the editing of this, in the description box, I will have, because I always link everyone that I mentioned in the description box, but I will actually have this group linked separately, so that if you're interested, you can go ahead and check out their YouTube channels. I believe the majority of them have or will be starting a YouTube channel. I think there's just one that have Instagram pages, but whatever it is that they have, I'm either link their YouTube page or their Instagram page under Magic Dreamland in my description box. I should have written it down, but I forgot to do that, and I'm filming on the phone that I could check that out. Now, this page was done in a base of Tombow water base markers, and then I used Castle Art pencils for just adding some depth, and then some glaze pens for additional depth on top of that. dual hybrid metallic. Oh, there's some in there and some in there. And then, like I said, distress ink in the background. And I think it's really effective. It's really interesting when you are seeing everyone submit their completed page, because we wait until the end of the month to reveal what our pages are going to be, so that we're not kind of subconsciously influencing other people on how to do their pages. And the renditions of this is just, it's so interesting when you do have just one picture that everyone is focusing on, and the way that people interpret them, the color schemes and whatnot. It's just, it's a phenomenal. All of the people who are participating in this thus far just did phenomenal work. This is something you're going to see at least every other month, because that's how we're doing the group buddy colors. It's a bit odd, I have to say. The paper is yellowed, as you can see. I don't know that I'll be using alcohol markers in here, because I do like both sides. And I thought it was interesting that what shadowed was the dual hybrid metallic pen. So underneath that, there's actually Tombow, because I based every element in a water-based marker, and then I did the dual hybrid on top of that. But I did use a fair bit of glaze pen, like you can see in this orge here, and none of that went through. So it was really only the dual hybrid metallic that did any kind of bleeding. So if I do color this page, then I'll need to be aware of the mediums. It's smooth, certainly thicker than like Amazon paper, but it's not super thick paper. So yeah, the Tombows worked great. Pencils worked great. Distress ink did not bleed through, so I'm happy with that. So it's just really testing out my mediums to see what works on here. That little bit of bleed through doesn't bother me. I just thought it was interesting that it happened. Anyway, that's my completed page out of this book right here. This is Magic Dreamland, and this is by Mei Zhang. This was a buddy color with my friend colorist Jen over on Instagram. It's the second page we've done out of here, and it's this page right here. This was for Olga Rani's Find and Color of Arabian Nights. And the way that I tackled this page was all of the pink and the blue that you see here, the teal, I did in just really rough distress ink. And it didn't bother me that some places were more saturated in colors than others. I figured it would add movement to the fabric here, as well as down here. And I'll put it on the screen during editing, because when I was talking about this page and doing it for February, I said it looked like her head was cut off. And then someone in my comments said, no, that's the fabric that's kind of wrapped around her neck. And then as soon as I read that, I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense why it's cutting off parts of her body, because it's fabric. And even with these little tassel things here, to be honest, I don't know that I would have noticed. So yeah, I did smudge some things down here. My distress ink work is not flawless, and to be honest, I didn't need it to be, but I really love the effect of it. And it did take something that was quite large, so that I didn't have to use alcohol markers or pencils, and gave me a lot of color. And this is actually, I think, 3 different distress inks, and then I think this is just one different teal one to the page. And I think she's just really vibrant. The one that colors Jen did was also quite beautiful as well. We're still talking about what we're going to be coloring for March, if we're going to be doing a buddy color, but I really did enjoy this. This also could have counted towards Tackle Your Treasures, since it is the second page I've completed in this book. Now, this is actually one of the first pages I completed for the month of February. This is out of Eric Barrett's Magical World. And I have to tell you, I thought I had ruined it. In fact, it makes me laugh looking at it, because I completed her first and the book, and I didn't know what to do with this bird dude. And it shows. I think this is a team's colors. This looks like it should be a mascot for some sort of football or basketball or baseball team. And what makes it even more hilarious to me is it's like she knows, like, girl, you messed this up. And he's like, yeah, I see it. everything's beautiful on the page, and then you make me look like some kind of team sport mascot. I understand. It was hilarious to me. I mean, I don't mind the colors. I don't know what I could have done to make this look different. I don't think it looks bad, but I guess unless I had used some purple or some black, it's just because I did this element first, I hadn't had the background done yet, and I think the background is what helped ties it together. I didn't know what colors I could choose to make him contrast to what I've already chosen for her. So maybe reds. Yeah, I just kind of box myself into corners when I'm doing stuff like that. Now, this background is actually done with just dabbing a whole bunch of Distress ink down and then doing the white gel pen to denote the smoke. And I really, really like how that looks. Even though he's side-eyeing me like nobody's business. I get it. I understand. I do. I did that. This is for Olga Rani's prompt of hat. And so, yeah, it was kind of hilarious to me. But that was my completed page out of this book right here. I did complete a page out of this one, Ladies of Leisure by Zan Von Zed. Of course, this is a buddy color with my friend Deb. And this kind of happened. So I did the purple and sort of like a blue Distress ink behind. I kind of wanted the background to kind of fade and just really focus on her. And so she's done in Art Skills alcohol markers. I did pick them up recently from Sam's Club. Some Spectrum glitter pens that my friend Poet had sent to me. And I colored that, but I didn't like how I had framed this out in this teal, and then the transition to the purple was just so stark. So I'm like, okay, well, I added some glitter X's around there. That did absolutely nothing. And then I added some squiggles. I had painted this, or I colored this, I think it's a ladybug in orange. You can't really see it now, which is fine. That actually doesn't bother me. And then I just did squiggly lines because I'm not sure why. Let's just call it art. But when I was flipping through my Tim Holtz stickers, I thought this one was interesting just because it kind of looks like I might have been a little inebriated with my color choices here. But it says, I think my guardian angel drinks. I'm not mad at this picture. It's just, I'm not sure what the thought process was. Or the thought process was, oh, well, I mean, it can't hurt it, right? It's kind of my art philosophy. Just do more stuff to it until you're like, I'm done. But that is Zan Von Zed's Ladies of Leisure. I did have a buddy color in this one, Graveyard Girls by Carla Magana. This was a buddy with my girl Amanda Downey, and we did this page right here. And she was a lot of fun. I believe I used my Art Skills 101 and my Tombow alcohol markers on her. And I decided not to do any kind of background because I had found a song on Apple Music that I really liked. And I thought it tied to this. And so it's a sip the gossip, drink till you choke, sip the gossip, burn down your throat. You're not iconic. You are just like them all. Don't act like you don't know. And it doesn't sound great when you're saying it, but it is awesome in the song. And that's Gossip by Mainskin featuring Tom Morello. And I just thought that just was really appropriate to this page. And it was really fun. It was really quick. I love Amanda's version as well. And this is a really fun coloring book. I think this could have counted towards Tackle Your Treasures because I think I only have 1 or 2 pages in here. I didn't write a lot of notes other than I completed it in February, and then it was a buddy with Amanda. But as my completed page out of this one, Graveyard Girls by Carla Magana. I did complete our group buddy color here in Morgan O'Brien's The Way Home, although even though I wanted to do the March Buddy Color because of Olga Rani's prompt of egg, I actually didn't make it. Work was a lot busier than I had anticipated it to be, and by the time I got home, I was just really tired. In fact, this is the first time in a long time that I have actually not posted the picture for Olga Rani's weekly prompt, and we had 2 weeks, so yeah, it just got away from me. But the page that I did complete was this one right here, and it was fun, and this actually counts towards several things. It counts towards Grogu in 2022 because this was the February Buddy Color, but also counts towards my Morgan O color challenge because the color of the month was orange, and I deliberately made these fish orange because I needed to take care of that prompt. Now, I have not posted anything yet for the latter part of February or early part of March that we're in right now to my Instagram page. So I really need to get on that. But yeah, I don't know that I'm actually really happy with the color choices, but when I'm coloring things, he's always going to be a color combination of green and brown. And then I knew the fish needed to be orange. And so everything else has to kind of contrast with everything else. And I just don't know if the kind of, color theory of, okay, let's put some orange and purple down. Well, let's put some blue down. Well, what other color can we use now? Yeah, let's make these birds yellow. I don't know that that actually is something that makes a page more or less interesting, but that's really how my brain works when I'm doing stuff like this, especially if I don't have a clear concept of what I want it to look like at the end. If it's one of those, yeah, let's just figure it out, this sometimes is what you get. The text I put on here is, Grogu was having so much fun with his new friends. The yellow things kept screaming, mine, 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 and they kept calling the orange things Nemo. Grogu couldn't understand what they meant, except maybe it meant a yellow thing for delicious. But that's my completed page out of this one. Again, if you are playing along, this is the March group Buddy Color. Again, thank you to Be Cozy for suggesting that we do this group Buddy Color on a monthly basis. And this is Morgan O'Brien's The Way Home. This was a buddy color with my friend Megan. I still actually, at the filming of this, have not sent her the completed page, but I will be doing that. It is currently Sunday, March 5th. So after this, I'll go ahead and send her that picture. But we did the letter L because that was her letter for the month of February. And that's for Meg's ABC challenge. ABC challenge, yeah, 2023. And this I just worked on slowly at work. I did have it completed by the end of the month. I just didn't bring it home and take the picture until just this morning. I used a lot of my skin tones, Ohuhu markers, and then just did some accents with some Moonlight gel pens as well as some glaze pens. It was pretty straightforward. I'm a little bored with this book right now, so the buddy color that we're doing for March, which is the letter G, will be done out of our Tour de Monde coloring books. So it'll just freshen up a little. I do like coloring architecture and things like that, but yeah, after a while, because I've done like 3 or 4 in here, I just want to work on something else with her. So that is my completed page out of this, Tatiana Bogomostolova's Nice Little Town ABC. I have a completed page out of this Disney's World Travel book by tracing. The illustrator is Miho Nageshi. I did pick this up from Amazon Japan back in 2021, and I completed page out of this. If you're not familiar, it's like Erie's Trace and Color, where the artwork is done in a faint green color, and this entire book is like that. And then you can choose to trace it or not. I do choose to trace it, and I generally use a Pigma Micron pen because it is waterproof. I use mostly pencil on here. There's just some accents of some glaze pen. But if I were using water medium, then I definitely would want to make sure I'm using a waterproof pen so that it doesn't smear. And I learned that the hard way. But I'm really happy with this. I deliberately used pencil for the most of it, although it did kill my hand, just because I wanted it to have a more muted effect. And as you can see grain of the paper, and I like that effect as well. But that is my completed page out of this. This was for Olga Rani's Fond in Color of Kangaroo, and also could have counted towards my own Tackle Your Treasures 2023. And when I say that is, more than likely, I'm not going to post this to Instagram. That's not why I do hashtags. That's not why I create hashtags. It's just I like knowing that in that point in time, when I look at this page in the future, that it could have counted towards something in the community. But that's this page right here. And that again is out of Disney World Travel Book by Tracing, and the illustrator is Miho Nageshi. Just 2 more pages completed, and then we'll work in my coloring book journal. This is an ongoing buddy color with my friend Tammy of Tammy Colors 2. And it's not like we're working out of this book specifically, we're just working out of Erie specifically on a monthly basis. And so the page we did was this one right here. Again, it counted towards Olga Rani's Find in Color. A lot of this was done with Inktense paint pans. There's also some Graphitint paint pans, and then just some accents of some pencils. I've got a little bit of pencil work in her outfit. I've got some Spectrum Sparkle on the sheer fabric. You guys know how I like to do that. I talked about that earlier in this video. And then a lot of glaze pen as well as dual hybrid metallic. And I just really like the overall effect of this. I think she's really pretty. I like the color composition, and yeah, it was a little time consuming because there's a lot of elements on the page, but overall I'm really happy with the effect. And let's look at the back. While there's some slight ghosting, if you hold it up to the light, I don't actually see any kind of bleed through whatsoever, which is really good. But yeah, that's my completed page. I haven't actually watched a lot of YouTube in the last few weeks, and so I don't know if Tammy has completed her completed pages video, but I did see her completed page, and it's absolutely beautiful. So go ahead and check out her channel. It'll be linked below. And if you're not following her on Instagram, you can find that information on her channel. And that is Erie. I think this is Tracing Fairy Tales, World Fairy Tales. And this I did pick up also from Amazon Japan back in 2021. And then my final completed page is out of this, Joanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. It's actually my very first page. This was a group buddy color with Poet, Pixie, and Deb from Instagram. And it's this page right here. And it's another one of those where I finished the main element. And then I didn't know how to do a background, but I definitely did want to do a background. And so basically I'm like, okay, well, let's do some contrasting colors. No, I don't know why, but it doesn't make me feel sick. It's just like, this makes me think that these bubbles are not soothing, medicated bubbles. These are angry, I need a ointment kind of bubbles. I don't know why. I mean, it's a very colorful page and it makes me smile looking at it, but yeah, these can be problematic by way of bubbles if they're not treated properly. That's why I saved this picture for last, because I think it looks really bright and vibrant, and yet these bubbles make me feel some kind of way. I don't know how many times I'm going to say bubbles in a video, but yeah, if you're drinking at home, hopefully you're not drunk. But this was done with, I believe, yeah, alcohol markers. You can see that's actually quite pretty. And then there's some glaze pen. There is some Kirachi highlighter to give this sparkle. There's some moonlight pen. There's some dual hybrid metallic, and then of course distress ink with stencils in the background with some white gel to just give some bubble action right there. But yeah, those bubbles though. And that's my completed page out of this one, Joanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. Let me get my coloring book journal and I'll be right back. All right, so this is my A5 Maisie Lane Co. dot grid journal that I'm using for my coloring book journal. So let's just get in here and complete some things. So clock, watch, hourglass, I completed. Kangaroo, I completed. There were 3 of those. Eggs, I have not posted, but there is only 1 page to that. And then the current prompt that she announced this morning is chest, like pirate chest, or the chest at the end of the rainbow. Oh no, that's the pot of gold. Whatever. Chest is the prompt. And then her monthly prompt, which goes through April 15th, is Dark Horse. Olga's channel is always linked in the description box below. So if you're interested in the various things that she's doing, go ahead and check out her channel. I checked and I didn't see anything by way of Coloropoly for the month of February or March. I didn't see any call outs, so I'm just going to leave that as is. But let's get to some of our stats. So we're going to look at this first, my coloring book focus. So I did do an opal page, yay. I did do an eerie page. I did do several portraits. I did do a pencil page. The kangaroo page in that tracing one was a pencil page. I did not do a hardback. And if you hear any tapping or any noise, it's really windy outside. And I think there's something hitting my window. 10 by 10, yes. Zan Von Zed, yes. Joanna Basford, yes. Group Buddy, yes. Ikuko. I think that's the first time in quite a long time, if ever, I did not complete an Ikuko page with my friend Patty. So I did reach out to her and let her know, and I will be completing those for March. And then my off my shelf, that was my opal page. The one with the bedspread, that's off of shelf number 2. I've yet to roll my number for March. And then I'll pull a book off the corresponding shelf and just color something in that. So tackle your treasures, yes. I have things I could have submitted. Grogu, yes. Morgan O color challenge, yes. Coloring your star zodiac, no. Even though I got a ton of astrology and zodiac books. Hannah K treasure hunt, nope, missed that. Color your hoard, yes, I do, but I don't post, so it's just for my own entertainment. Meg's ABC challenge, yes. There wasn't a page for complete area veil, so that's well, no, that's more of a NA. Pixie's Disney coloring, there wasn't one on that. And then Colorful Pirates, animals doing people things, that was a yes. Okay. So I decided for the group buddy color, I'm going to include Magical Dreamland and Mid-Century Animals because I've had to think about this. I'm in a group buddy color with Emma, Erica, Poet, and myself. I'm in a group buddy color with Poet, Pixie, and Deb. But those are very casual. We have just a lot of ongoing group buddies, and we get to them when we get to them. We're just helping each other pick pages. With these particular group buddies, Grogu in 2022, Complete Area Veil, Magical Dreamland, and Mid-Century Animals, there are specific pages done, and the goal is to have it done by the month end. If you can't, you can't, that's fine. But it is definitely more defined than some of my other groups where it's like, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. So I've decided to add that into the count because otherwise this would just be one every single month. Yeah, I know I'm trying to justify things that I'm doing for myself, but hey, it's an evolving process. So for individual or small group buddy colors where we just get it done when we get it done, I did have 6. And then for the group, I did 2. And that was the Magical Dreamland and the Grogu in 2022. Okay, so that's my buddy color stats right there. And then completed pages, I did 15 completed pages, and of that the monthly find in color was 3, and then the weekly find in color was 6. So 9 of the 15 pages was done for finding color. Again, Olga Rani's prompts do drive a lot of my work. This is something that's probably going to be done towards the middle or ending of the year because I need to format that and I'm lazy. So Dreams of Dragons, I've still yet to finish anything, and this is my untouched coloring books. Ville Sauvage, still nothing. Manga Glow in the Dark, nothing. Throne of Glass, nothing. Victorian Fantasy, nothing. Demon Slayer, Poils de Poils, yes. Mystery Island, no. Magical Dreamland, yes. Magical Worlds of Ambliflage, that's at work, I believe, so no. Diary of the Witch, Adventures of Tiny Girl, nope. Ikuku Japanese Girls, nope. Aletier of the Witch, nope. Magical World, yes. I did add one in here because I had that space open and it was bothering me. A Frog's Tale by R.G. Hampson, that is a no. World of Broken Dolls, nope. Coloring Heaven, Starry Night, nope. Chibi Coloring Book, nope. Fairlandia and Transcendence, nope. I do have a few more spaces, and so I will fill that up even though they weren't purchased in January, just because I don't like the space there. But that is all of my completed pages for February. I don't know how many that I'll complete for March. This is a hobby that helps me unwind and de-stress, and my hobbies kind of fluctuate because they are very time consuming. Either I'm reading and not doing anything else, or I'm coloring and watching some TV, I'm doing journaling, this, that, or the other. And so I go where my anxiety takes me. And more often than not, lately, it's been taking me to reading or just resting because I've been tired and my joints have been sore. But I'd love to know if you had a favorite completed page. Let me know in the comments section below. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.